Maybe some ropes, handcuffs.
Masturbation. Chicken oil sauce inside her vagina.
I like to masturbate.
Jerk off all the time.
Strapless strap-on.
The only way to put it is to say it was like a pussy padlock.
So not great for dorm rooms, obviously, right?
No, we don't go there.
I like to think I picked up a few moves from porn, yeah.
This is a dildo.
There's so many different types of porn.
I'm very confused.
So prepare yourselves if you're watching.
When was the first time you ever masturbated?
6th grade maybe? Maybe 5th grade?
It was about 7th grade. 7th grade, I would say.
When I was in college.
Probably when I was around 13.
Probably in high school, so 15, 16.
13, 14.
Good. I have no idea. I feel like I didn't do it for a while.
Yeah, probably.
Not in middle school.
Yeah.
I don't know, definitely high school.
Yeah, high school.
I think probably middle school.
Yeah, early middle school.
Yeah.
Early.
So, good afternoon. My name is Christine Barksdale. I am the owner of Sustainable Passion, which I call a women-centric, sex-positive adult boutique. The reason I started it is because as a woman, I didn't want to go into those places that are kind of creepy, truck stoppy type spaces. So I wanted some space that felt more like, you know, a comfortable place you'd hang out with your girls and be cool. I wanted to make a space that felt non-judgmental and safe. But when I wanted to do the parties, I wanted to sell toys that were non-toxic and green. A lot of times, there are things that are not really good for our bodies. The sex toy industry is not really regulated. It's self-regulated. So there are a lot of times there are things that are made that are toxic. Guys will be like, I am not smelling a dildo. And so what they'll do is do like this, right? So the reason is not to see you smelling a dildo, but to get an idea of what that smell is.
Oh crap, that sounds
really sick. Does anybody know where the first vibrators came from and why they were created?
Yeah.
Did this in class.
Yep.
Isn't that dude with the feather duster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starts with an H. Does anyone remember?
Hysteria? Hysteria, right?
Have you ever heard of the term hysteria?
Like crazy?
Yeah.
Mental?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've heard it used negatively.
No.
No.
In our culture at one point, it was only meant, the procedure was only meant for women, and it was meant for mostly people who had access to this treatment, upper middle class women, so people that had money. If they were kind of getting out of place or wanted certain kind of freedoms or rights and were acting out because of that, they were considered to have hysteria.
Mood swings, to mental disruptions, to mental illness, to debilitations, to seeing voices, to becoming weak and infirm, to needing to take a cure, to go off to an asylum, a sanatorium.
They kind of, in quotations, call it like a wandering womb. So the assumption that different organs in the body are like misplaced and need to be brought back to their original place.
It was thought that uteruses would break free and wander around the body and make a woman crazy.
If you were rich, though, you can afford to get treated for hysteria by manual masturbation.
The cure for those things was to release the energy, and the way that that energy got released was for doctors. This is the turn of last century, so 1890s, right? Early 1900s. It was for doctors to go in and manually stimulate these women, like could take an hour.
So the first vibrators that were created, doctors were really happy. They were big and they were in their office, but they could like go through, instead of maybe taking an hour for a woman, it could take 15 minutes, right? So they were really happy with this invention.
it's like a, you know, instead of screaming and yelling at someone, you could just be like, ah.
I say, yeah, you're missing out if you're not.
It does make you less stressed, right? It does make you happier. There are health benefits to it, right? It's not going to solve all your problems, but it'll make you relax a little bit. It will, you know, as one of my friends says, take the edge off. You know, like it does all of that, which I think, you know, that's the part that we shouldn't have to, if I want to masturbate and have an orgasm, I shouldn't have to have an excuse for it. I just want to do it. It should be okay.
When I was in college, someone was like, I was like, I've never masturbated. Someone was like, what the hell?
Men talk about sex, or young men, right, or boys talk about sex, but not in an educated way, right? It's this kind of big, boisterous bravado thing, right?
Boys can talk about masturbation as much as they want to, and like it's totally normal. Like boys like jerk off all the time, and like that's what boys do. But like no one really ever talked about like girls masturbating, so I never really thought about it. I don't know why. Like it's weird now that I think back that like no one was saying anything about girls masturbating.
I think honestly in these situations, a lot of it depends on what family you came from. And how your parents maybe talked about sexuality, or what school and education that you come from for health class from a young age. And it's, for me as a female teacher, I think it's kind of frustrating to have these students coming into my college level classes not knowing to take ownership as a female of their sexuality.
When I was 12, my mother talked to me about masturbation, and she said that it's natural and it's normal and it's between you and your body, and no one can make you feel guilty about it.
And so she kind of sat me down and just, she told me like what would happen if I had sex. I would get pregnant, I'd have to drop out of school and all this shenanigans. And then my dad tried giving me a sex talk, but I cut him off right then. I was like, Dad, stop, please.
Like, it's like all of this stuff, right? It's like, it's this idea of like all these negative things. So then did they give you an alternative? Like, how many parents then talked about masturbation? Did you say hell no? Hell.
I think it's important for parents to not shame any parts of how their body works. I think it's really important for parents to also use like proper terminology rather than keep using this language that means that we can't talk about it, right? So that's ingrained in them from very infancy, even like saying private parts rather than describing what the actual part is. And we can kind of be, although very young, somewhat mature about the conversation, you know?
Because I started a women-centric store, part of the idea was that so many young women are not empowered to talk about what they think about their bodies or their sexual experiences, or to feel comfortable enough to voice what that means to them. And I think that is a direct consequence of not understanding yourself, not understanding what gives you pleasure, not understanding what doesn't give you pleasure, you know, and not feeling like you have a voice or any control over those things.
For someone to be physically sexually healthy, maybe that means that they can do the kinds of things with their body that they'd like to be able to do sexually. Maybe it means that they feel like they have some balance or some correspondence between their sexual minds and their sexual bodies. Maybe it means that they have come to some broader understanding of the vastness of their own sexuality.
And I feel like we have to stop doing this. We have to be comfortable with ourselves and comfortable with each other as people to be able to say, this is normal. This is normal behavior. This is okay. This is not something to be embarrassed about. This is not something to be ashamed of. This is just normal.
I don't even know where you would put this. Like on a penis? I don't even get it. What is this? On a penis? Oh my god, I'm so good.
Do you put your penis in it? It's like a penis ring almost. Is this what a pocket pussy is?
I'm not making any reaction.
Oh, smooth.
I like it.